Okay, I'm just gonna do my own little countdown in five, four, three, two, one. Okay, wait, hold up. Let's do it in Olelo, Hawaii. E lima, e ha, e kolu, e lua, e kahi. Aloha mai kako. Hello, everybody. Have you taken a long walk and you decided that you were thirsty? Well, this is why you need to start to walk your water. Yes, I said it. Walk your water. And welcome to my podcast. I am your host, the Cheysen Cabuyadao-Sipe, and this is the very first episode, which is just going to be introducing yours truly and this very brand new podcast. Yay! A lot of my friends and family members have been saying and wanting me to do a podcast, and this is me doing it. So I'm starting now on this new journey. To be completely transparent, this episode will not be content heavy, but rather more introductory and movie/TV show trailer esque. We love a good movie or TV show trailer, of course. I'm mainly focusing on how this podcast is going to be structured and when am I going to be releasing the episodes, which I will actually say now every Monday and Thursday, hopefully, depending on weekends and holidays and whatnot. Also, for the sake of everyone's time, my time, your dog's time, I'm going to be splitting up my episodes, which is why there will be a Monday and Thursday drop. Listen, those long episodes, love them. Love whoever's doing those long episodes, but we're going to split it up for mine. So, pause this podcast right now and pull up your Google Calendars or any calendar app. Or if you're old school, go ahead and grab that sexy firefighter calendar and add Walk Your Water new episode release for every Monday and Thursday. I'm currently not sure about the exact time yet though, but every Monday and Thursday, put new Walk Your Water episode. I'm gonna give you a moment just to do that. Do 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 do. Okay. You guys should have had time to pause and add what you needed to add, which is that Walk Your Water will be coming out every Monday and Thursday. And so I wanted to officially welcome you guys all to Walk Your Water with your host, Cheysen Cabuyadao-Sipe. So let's put your shoes on, grab your water, and walk your water. Diving right in. Dive in. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know how the song goes, but if you guys know that song, love that song. So I've listened to a lot, and I mean by a lot of podcasts. The hour-long ones, the mindset ones, positive mindset, teenage advice, all of the works. News podcasts as well. And there are so many different ones, and everybody's mom, themselves, dog, grandma, lost long family members are coming out with a podcast. So I thought, why not? My family and friends said that I could be a good podcaster. So I thought, since I just love to yap, and I also feel like there are other things that we can talk about for Gen Z or any generation, we're going to be generationally inclusive here, is that there's other things to talk about other than this group is this, that group is that, he said, she said, they said, fee, fi, fo, fum, Jack and Jill ran up the hill. Because everybody is saying this and that, but not doing what they need to do, which is drinking their water or taking their walks. I'm a yapologist at heart. I drink at least a gallon of water a day, and I take long walks. People who know me, shout out, know that I love to yap, to talk about everything and anything, love to ask questions and everything. People also know me because of my 1 gallon water bottle named Betty the Fourth. We'll talk about why she's the fourth in a later episode in a segment that I will talk about later in this episode. People also know me because I love to go on my walks. And so honestly, this is not just a podcast for you, all to enjoy, eat up, dissect, and so forth, because we all know Gen Z loves to do that, or anyone in social media or whatever. But also a bit of a journaling experience for myself. Oh, you guys are going to be my little diary, maybe. For now, I'm seeing this podcast as a journey of yapping, hydrating, and walking together, figuring out what works, what doesn't work, which segments I like to have and focus on, and which segments may not be serving our purpose anymore. I think for now, we're going to keep it as a solo podcast and then allow me to learn my craft, develop my skills, learn how to be the best podcaster there ever is, and then invite people in my life to be guests. And then, of course, collaborate with other creatives and influential people if they will have me, of course, teehee. But for now, we're just going to keep it solo and we're going to have fun with it. We're going to explore, we're going to experiment. You know, that's what this podcast is about, is to have a fun time, but also to have actual intellectual conversations, to use our critical thinking caps, as all of our teachers and professors have always said, and really get to talk and marinate about things. So more about me. You guys are probably asking yourselves, who even is Cheysen Cabuyadao-Sipe? Well, I'm going in the traditional college fashion of introductions. Of course, he Hawaii-el o Cheysen Cabuyadao-Sipe Ko'uinoa no Hawaii-el. My full name is Cheysen Cabuyadao-Sipe, and I am from Lahaina, Hawaii. But I just say Hawaii in general because my mom and a lot of my aunties, uncles, siblings, and cousins will always say I was everywhere. Let me tell you, I was everywhere. I was born on Oahu, Moku'o in Kapi'olani Health Center. So a lot of people was born from Kapi'olani Health Center, and I wanted to take this time to shout them out and also shout out all the doctors and nurses there for helping my mom and all my aunties and everybody in Hawaii who was born in Kapi'olani. Shout out to everyone there. And then for a time, I was raised in Lanai o Ka'ulula'o in Lanai City. And then I would go back between Lanai and Oahu here and there between my grandparents and my mom. And then officially, I moved to Maui o Pi'ilani in the Moku o Lahaina when I was in the first grade. And I was a little bit of a trouble child, I'm not gonna lie. Teehee. I'll shout out all the teachers and childhood friends in later episodes, of course, so just be patient. You'll get your shout outs here and there. And so that's my roots and where I come from. I go by he, him, his pronouns, and my strongest cultural heritage ancestries are Filipino, precisely ties from the Ilocos Norte and Pangasinan areas, and Kanako Uivi, alongside a bunch of other ancestries that I want to acknowledge but do not actively identify or immerse myself in. In good old Aquarius intellectual fashion, I'll talk about my academic journey a bit. I did go to preschool on Oahu for a bit. Shout out to Kama'aina kids. Then I went to Lanai High and elementary school for kindergarten and one half of first grade. I then went to Kamehameha 3rd Elementary School in Lahaina from my second half of first grade to fifth grade. Then I went to Kamehameha Schools Maui or Kamehameha Schools A'apueo since the sixth grade and graduated there in 2019. Taking the Lahaina bus all the way to upcountry. Yes, it was an hour-long bus ride, but we made it work. Then I was fortunate to be admitted into Whitman College and graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Anthropology in 2023. And it's been a wild ride since then. Actually, it hasn't been too wild because for the past 2 academic years, I've been a resident director here, or RD, which is me overseeing one of our residence halls, or as everybody likes to say, the dorms or dormitories. And yeah, that is where I'm at currently. And we'll open it up to questions about what else you guys want to know about me. But that's me. I'm a little random, and I'm gonna keep it real. I am a random person. And so you guys are like, okay, we know who you are, kinda. But what am I going to talk about? What is this podcast talking about? And what does Walker Water even mean? That's honestly a fairly good question because what does that even mean? Well, this podcast, like I said, we're going to experiment. But I do have specific segments that I will be showcasing. And don't mind me, but we're going to workshop a lot of these things. But the main purpose is entertainment, motivation, speaking what's on our minds, and also to promote walking and drinking water as a low risk, low entry, but when done consistently, life changing habits. Because, first of all, we need to get more steps in our day. Second of all, we need more water in us as well. And electrolytes, of course, but water, most importantly. And there's a reason why. Because one identifying factor that I hold consistently is one, walking, and two, drinking my water. People even say, quote, that part of your starter pack, Cheysen, is Betty, my water bottle, end quote. And if anybody knows, or people who know who I am on Betty the Fourth. And we'll talk about the Tales of Betty, which is going to be one of our segments. And why are we on Betty the Fourth, you might ask? Well, come back and I'll tell you the tea on Betty. Back to the podcast. I love to take long walks. I'm a huge fan of taking long walks, especially during the morning time or even in the evening or wherever or whenever, because there's so much to see in the world. And so there's specific segments that I want to start with. And the first one is called Shy Tide, because my nickname is Shy. And then, of course, Tide, like tide pools, tidal waves, and how the ocean has low or high tides depending on the time of day. Also, Shy Tide is another reference to my Hawaii background. And also because I am an Aquarius, even though we are not a water sign, a lot of people mistake us as water signs. I do love the symbolism of the water bearer. So, Shy Tide is like high tide because I remember every time I was at the beach with family and friends back home, we would see when the tides were going into low tide or when we were going into high tide. The main focus of the Shy Tide segment is to focus on current events and a rundown about news that I have from a newsletter that I really trust and read every day. Shout out to 1440 newsletter. They do not sponsor me, but I love the newsletter that I subscribe to via email. I enjoy waking up, seeing the 1440 email, and reading about global news and the bits that they have. Back to the purpose of Shy Tide, though. It's a way for you to get caught up a bit on what's going on in the world and the current culture, as well as possibly some interesting articles. In essence, Shy Tide is very Aquarius because of its goal to raise some global consciousness in a generation and time where 1. Newspapers are on the decline. Sorry, not sorry. 2. Watching the news can be too overwhelming. And 3. Social media and the algorithms provide scatterings of current events. And so that's Shy Tide. The next segment is a segment that I'm still workshopping on its name, but I've come down to 3 possible names, one of which my friend just came up with the other day. Shout out Beans. The possible names for this segment are the thirst bucket, let out your thirst, and or the thirst spot. This segment is all about having fun in this confessional style and unserious way. It's a way for you folks to see what is going on inside of my mind. So to you psychology majors, go ahead and psychoanalyze. You can psychoanalyze me, use me as a case study or a senior thesis. I'm here for it. Just make sure to credit me, teehee. Furthermore, this is where the tea happens. And for those who know me, I can be a thirsty person. And if I do offend people with these thirsts, the thirst spot or the thirst bucket, please let me know. I definitely am a person about respect and reciprocity. So please let me know if I do offend you. Or if you have comments. I don't know. I don't know how you guys can DM me, but we'll figure that out down the road. But at the end of the day, we are all thirsty. Actually, not all. I don't want to overgeneralize, but we do have our thirst. And it doesn't have to be people or types of people. It could be something that you're actually thirsting for, like knowledge. What are you being hooked on? What is on your mind or occupying my mind? And also, I guess it's another way for you folks to know my types. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm going to be an open book with that one. In essence, let out your thirst slash thirst bucket slash thirst spot is our silly, funny confessional style, but also can be intellectual style segment. And then the next segment is called Drink Your Water. And this is in the style of, okay, wait, I don't know about y'all, but I was fortunate enough within the past couple of years to be unintentionally integrated into my family's auntie circles. And I love it. And I'm grateful for it because I love my mom and my aunties. Shout out to them. So you guys know who you are, especially you Filipino ones. We already know you guys like to be hyped up. I always say that I was raised by a motherhood, and I'll stand by that. But Drink Your Water is going to be our auntie circle, which is pretty much ways in which I'm going to give advice with some tea spilling. And of course, I would like my guests to also pitch in with what they think about this advice or what advice they want to offer up and what troubles and situations you folks are going through and the tea that you guys are being steeped in. And if content is a bit slow, we may have to bring out the Reddit or even, dare I say, yik yak posts. Yeah, there's that. And then there's a more philosophical level to Drink Your Water. Theoretical, academic level perchance, possibly even spiritual and cultural. And what I mean by philosophical, theoretical, spiritual, and cultural is that this segment makes you reflect on you, your culture, and truly whose water or waters are you drinking? A lot of things about this podcast makes me also think about it in the cultural aspect, of course. Duh, because I was an anthropology major. For example, when talking about cultural things and when I say drink your water, I don't just also mean the physical water that's hydrating you. I'm thinking about whose waters are you drinking from? Which cultures or culture are you connecting with? Which water or waters or knowledge are you enriching yourself with? Which type of content, what type of things are enriching you, and how are you drinking it? How are you consuming it? How are you letting it sink in and hydrate you? And of course, this goes into the whole water bearer Aquarius sign energy that I bring. And of course, we'll talk about my full birth chart later. But you guys just have to come to the other episodes to find out what is going on with Cheysen and what is his birth chart. I'm not going to give you guys my birthday nor my time of birth. We're going to go over my birth chart. End of story. And then, of course, the current next segment or the last segment that I wanted to bring up to you guys is the Tales of Betty. Tales of Betty is very, how do I put this? It's commentary. It's social commentary. It also, in my thinking, synergizes with a lot of the drink your water with the anti-circles. This is where I talk about traveling, my walks, ideas that came up from my walks, and about some academic things. For example, this is where I'm stitching the TikToks. I will shout out and mention and give credit to whoever makes these TikToks that I pull from. And I also just want to talk about what ideas come up for me when I'm walking. I also just want to talk about the tea about Betty and pay her homage for keeping me hydrated. And this is also where I am going to read articles. I love to read articles. For example, since it's October in the year of 2024, and I'm recording this in October, we are in deep Halloween season. Spooky. And I have one article that I want to read to you all for Tales of Betty. And I want to see the reactions and how you guys would think. Maybe I might even invite one of my friends or somebody to be a guest to help me analyze and navigate through this article. And honestly, if you guys want to stitch this, let me know. And so this is pretty much what Walk Your Water is and strives to accomplish. Walk Your Water, as the title, is supposed to be weird, random, fun, talkative, and so much more to whatever we want, as in you, me, and my guests want it to be. And I'm not trying to reinforce the stereotype that Aquarians are weird, even though we are weird and freaky a little bit, just to say, but it's also that we're unique and eccentric. And I just wanted to put two things that are normal behaviors into focus, like walking and water, drinking your water, and just taking long walks, or just walking in general. So, walk your water, in a way, creates a sense of relationship or relationality between you, yourself, walking, and the waters that you drink, and maybe even your own water bottles. And so there's going to be more content that I really want to try and record for y'all and give y'all. I'm still trying to figure this whole podcasting thing with the full editing and whatever. So if anybody wants to mentor me, let me know, please. I'm looking for a mentor, actively looking for mentors and people to support and highlight their voices and amplify their voices. And so let me know how I can support and help you all. Help me help you and help me help you. And with that, let's all enjoy this walk. Actually, why don't you, yes, you, come along with me on this walking and hydrating journey? There will be a whole new world, as Aladdin and Jasmine sang or sung. And yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. We're all gonna walk our waters together, okay? And until then, I'll see you guys over and out.